Good morning to all. So today, after these two talks, I'm going to discuss main things. What are the protocols of learning, basic steps once he is in the resident is in the first year of his residency, and how can he improve his learning procedures, and also in the second and third year. So this is observing to performing. A resident's journey is to first observe, learn, educate himself, communicate, and then he becomes a performer by the end of his third year of residency. So coming to the first thing, importance of the OT in ophthalmology. As you know, in other specialties like general surgery or gynae or let it be ENT, models, simulators are available which are very cheap, easily affordable, and give a realistic training onto it. But eye simulators are either available, which are low cost, but are not very representative of the natural eye, and the high-end simulators are very costly, and they are available only in very apex centers. So only way forward is for the resident to pick up the skills under his mentor in the OT setup, in the ophthalmological OT. So it is a primary training ground for developing surgical skills. The resident learns by observation, assisting, and then slowly doing the steps. Also, the most important thing, since we are OT, OT is a very sensitive environment. It is a sterile environment. So we have to respect the environment, and also since we are learning on a live patient, respect the patient's safety also. So the gradual involvement in the steps of surgery increases the confidence and competency over a period of time. So it is not a sudden procedure. You can't fast forward it. You have to follow the steps. So amateur to immature. So basic things will be covered here, simulators and all. But the thing is that it is a teamwork and communication. Not only it is important to communicate with your mentors, but also other staff in the OT, like the operating room assistant and the nursing staff. They will be your mentors in the first year of training, and you will learn a lot of things from them. That is your backbone of your basic surgical practice. So once you communicate and take yourself as a part of a team, it will be easier to learn. You can't be in a shell. I know doctors are a little bit introverts because they have studied, so they have become doctors. But you have to come out of a shell when you are in PG training and communicate with everybody. That will make you an all-round practitioner. Coming to the foundations, I've divided into year-wise. In the first 6 months, basic thing in the first 6 months is to learn what are the diagnosis, what are the surgery offered for those diagnoses, what are the indications. Also, what are the procedures, basic procedures in OT, like the maintenance of sterility, how the equipments are handled, cleaned. Then patient preparation. In the first 6 months, it is very important for the resident to understand that. Basic thing like pupil dilatation, surgical marking, and verifying the instructions given to the patient before surgery. Also certain procedures like peribulbar block, it's a great thing for a first resident in the first 6 months to learn to give a flawless peribulbar block. So these are the things which are required of a new resident. Also, it is very important how you take the patient from the pre-op room to the OT, because it gives you a feeling how to handle the patient, how to communicate, how to touch the patient, how to allay his fear and all. So preparing the OT list, it looks like a mundane thing, but yeah, it has got a lot of things you can learn from it. You know what is the diagnosis, then you'll read about it, what are the surgeries offered to it, and what are the indications, contraindications. So maybe preparing OT list and you go into it will help you to brush up your knowledge. Also, preoperative evaluation and documentation is very important to learn at this stage. Later on, it will help you out in legal problems. So now, the sterilization procedure is very. So it is important in the first 6 months to visit the CCSD, the Central Sterile Department, and see how the instruments are handled, what is the protocol or the safety procedures, what are the indicators used. Also, again, like the peribulbar thing, this is the thing to learn in the first 6 months. Checklist is very important. Most of the problem occurring in ophthalmology is the wrong patient, the wrong eye, or the wrong surgery offered to the eye. So it is important in your checklist before you start the surgery on a patient to confirm the identity, confirm which eye and what is the surgery offered. Also look for other sources of infection, like people from village, they may have a nose pin, jewelry, bindi, etc. Even if you tell them, they may not register in the day previously. It is to be seen before the patient is taken to the OT. Pre-op instructions are important. Most of the patients are aged. Whatever you have said in the evening may not be remembered the next day. So you have to tell the patient to lie still, to communicate with voice only, not to move, look into the light. Again, the first year resident has to reiterate to the patient that these are the things to be observed. Also, the main thing is how to take the patient from pre-op room to the OT. Like the patient has to be led by hand, and this is the way you can uh, develop a bond, how to handle a patient later on. So you have to carefully take the patient, respecting the sterility of the OT, and not also to make the patient apprehensive or injure the patient. Coming to the latter part of the first year of residency, you have to observe the surgery under direct observations. Like I told you, simulators and all are very costly, not available, but you have to do the surgery under supervision, that observe the surgery under supervision. You should know what are the steps involved, brush up on your knowledge from standard textbooks, what are the instruments used for all the various surgeries, stepwise, and see your senior residents, how is arranging the trolley, what is the sequence of arrangement, why is giving the instrument. This you have to learn by observations. Nobody else can teach you separately. So you have to be very observant in your OT. Also in your first year, you should learn how to set up the basic cataract trolley setup. Other surgeries can be learned after that, because that is the cataract is our bread and butter. And in the first year, you may be again towards the end assisting the assistant. Like the second or third year, the resident may be assisting the main surgeon or the consultant. So you become assistant to him. See how is he behaving with the surgeon, how is he handling the instruments. So again, these are the photographs how to make the trolley. Trolley making is very important. Again, you have to respect sterility. You have to give a, now the plastic sheets are available, at time it was not available, or that's a boon. You place the plastic sheet so that it doesn't absorb water and all, and you have to keep the instruments on it in a sequential manner, thinking in mind what are the steps of surgery, and again handling the equipment to the surgeon in a sequential manner according to his preference. Also very important is this phaco machine and VR machines. They are very technology demanding. You have to understand in the first year what is the dynamics, what are the physics behind it, so that all the parameters you can understand after that. And also you have to be very conversant with the machine parameters, because every surgeon has got different parameters, and you have to be seamlessly transition from one surgeon to the next surgeon. So understanding this phaco machine parameters are very important before you actually do steps on it. So this is what observing, like most of the microscope now have a side port in which you can observe, side eyepiece in which you can observe the surgery directly. Earlier times it was not available, or you have to get it separately. Now coming to subspecialty rotations, like as you know from MBS you are transition to PG, from PG to fellowship. So to make the transition very smooth, from the second year onwards you should show interest in subspecialty surgery, basically oculoplasty, vitreoretinal and corneal surgeries. These are the surgeries, if you see, observe, you will gain interest in it, and it will be a seamless transition from your PG to your further fellowship. So again, these are the steps which you should do under close guidance. By the end of second year, you will be offered steps in surgeries like incision making, capsular access, divide and conquer in a stepwise pattern. May not be full continuous full surgery, but you should learn the steps by the end of second year. So this is where in our institute, the second year of performing surgeries under guidance, direct guidance. Certain surgeries they can perform fully, like pterygium, they can be proficient by second year, and other minor surgeries. But cataract surgeries, stepwise one learns, especially phaco. So by the end of the final year, that is the third year, you should be able to do surgery under supervision. Like the first was the building block, second was you are practicing in a stepwise manner, few steps. But by the third year, you should know a full surgery, basic surgery you should be knowing, like cataract surgery. You should know how to remove pterygium, what are the various steps, basic glaucoma surgery, and basic squint surgeries, horizontal squints and all. You should know how to do it independently, but under supervision. So again, for this, mentorship is very important, and this communication with your mentors, with your other staff, will help you become a good surgeon. Sometimes the lower staff will give you some tips, like your mentor may be busy in some other things, but your assistant or a junior staff will tell you, so this is what you have to do in this case. If you have a problem, they sometimes help you out. So communication is very important. So that's what we again reiterate, guidance and feedback from senior ophthalmologists is must, and you should also communicate with the lower staff. So finally, this is what is the main aim, like your consultant is standing on the corner, and you are operating independently. So operating under guidance by the end of third year, that should be the main goal. So the whole process is like initially once you go to any job, you are being directed by your boss. Then you're coached. So that is the second year. Then you are supported in your task. And finally you are delegated. So that is the journey. Directing, coaching, supporting, and independently working, delegating. So this is the journey in the first three years of your residency. So again, we reiterate, residency training in the OT fosters a gradual progression from observation to independent surgical performance. And by assisting, observing, you ultimately become a good surgeon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So what we got it from here that the process has to be gradual and it cannot be rushed, and most important thing is assessment at every level, and the best way of assessment and learning is